conversation about the opportunities that existed within the mining space, we found out, to my surprise, perhaps not to all of yours, that even with as basic as some qualification as a school certificate, persons could get opportunities to work with the mines, specifically with fabrication, welding, and what have you. Today, the CEO of the Minerals Commission, Mr. Martin Ayisi, is here once again to tell us more about that discussion we had on the opportunities in the mining industry and how we can create more and same opportunities for Ghanaians. And I'd like to say a big welcome to you, Mr. Ayisi, once again. Welcome.
Thank you.
So we've been talking about jobs in the mining space, and last week we found out that even without a university degree or an HND, someone could get a job at the mines and they can rise through the ranks to occupy very prominent positions. This week, mining has been very topical because over the past few weeks, after an interview on GBC News' program Legends of Our Time, former sector minister in the area of environment and science had made some damning revelations about what he says are attempts or participation of persons within the government space, and that makes it difficult for the war against Galamsey to be won. Blogger, social media influencer Kobiche was at the River Pra last week, and he brought us a sample of what that water body is looking like now. You remember our stationary bottle here from September when Kafui went to River Pra to bring us a sample. It does not look like there's been much of an improvement. I wonder if before we get into the opportunities, you would like to help us understand why we are here and not here still, or as close to here as possible.
Good morning, and good morning to our viewers. I don't know where he took it from.
River Pra.
What I know is that the situation is not as satisfactory that we all want. That's what I can say now. And then government is doing the best to make sure that the water, is clean. That's what I can say.
But we are not where we are.
Yeah, we are not where we are.
But there's been a lot of efforts that's been put into tooling. I remember Professor Frimpong Boasin saying the Minerals Commission was not even fully equipped to deal with the kind of situation that you are faced with. So where are we? Because we want to get close to this, but if we are going from here to here, what's the hitch?
What I can say is that maybe next week I can come and tell you all that government has been doing, so that we spend some time more on it, rather than you asking me bits and pieces. So I can offer you that.
But for now, what you can tell us is that the efforts are continuing,
yes,
even though this is the result that you are seeing.
Well, he said this is from Republic. I'm not in a position to deny or confirm that, but I'm in the position to tell you that Galamsey has not been resolved. Yes, that I can admit.
And for the comments that the Prof made about the Minerals Commission, are you able to comment?
Yes. What did Prof say? Did he mention Minerals Commission? Yes. What exactly did he say? He said the Minerals Commission was not well resourced to manage some of the issues. Very simple. Is this still the case? No. Even before he was appointed to chair that interministerial committee to go into all that and come out of his report, government itself recognizes the fact that the commission needed to be retooled, resourced, and then giving all the... I mean, that's what he mentioned, that the Minerals Commission is not well resourced to be able to work effectively and efficiently. Tema, at the time he made his comment, I think I was a deputy CEO. I've been in the helm of affairs 2 years now, and I can tell you for a fact that it is no longer the case. The other allegations he has made and what you call damning, it is for persons that are mentioned there to respond to them. Some are individuals, some are public officers. Government has also responded.
But as the body with the oversight responsibility.
Well, but on our side, it is not the case. When I come next week, I'll show you pictures and videos and things. But what I can say is that we are now well resourced. I'll say a few things. The last 2-3 years, government has pumped in a lot of resources to the Minerals Commission. I am proud to say that we have about 30 brand new pickups. We never had these pickups at the time Professor Frimpong Boanti was talking. So today, every district office of the Minerals Commission has a brand new pickup. Some even regional offices have about 3 or 4. And today, almost all the regional officers even had Land Cruisers and Prados because of the nature of the terrain. So, vehicle-wise, we are well-resourced.
Are they using them for instance?
Very well. Look, we are one of the finest institutions when it comes to managing vehicles. And I'm challenging you to come to our Minerals Commission and go around and see the kind of cars we are using, and you'll be surprised if you see some of our vehicles. So, resource-wise, in terms of vehicle, because you see, you need to move around. Okay, now I'm telling you that practically all the 16 regions in Ghana, some form of exploration and or mining is going on. To be able to be effective and efficient, it means you need to be everywhere. You need to have your footprints everywhere. You move not through spirit, you move with vehicles. That, I am saying, government has provided. I am so proud of that. So we have about 30 or so new pickups in our pool. This year we are getting 18. So vehicles-wise, we are okay. We don't have a problem. The minister has given us all that we need in terms of the vehicles. Every district officer has a pickup. Some districts even have about 2 or 3, like Takwa, where activities are bigger. So that is in respect of vehicles. 2, as I sit here, practically almost every district office and regional office of the Minerals Commission is connected to the internet 24/7. So we don't have a situation where at the time he was filing this report, this was not there. We didn't have over 30 pickers. And I'm saying I'm taking delivery of 18 this year. 18 this year. New pickups. So within a space of 2 years, I'm heading to almost about 50 pickups. Which institution has gotten that, maybe apart from police? And look at their numbers, look at our numbers. So that is in terms of pickups. 2, we are now connected to the internet. And you don't have to worry yourself and say, I have to be at the office of the Minerals Commission, either the district or the regional office from 8 to 5, and submit hard copies. When Professor Frimpong Boanti was filing this report, there was nothing like an online application. He called it Galam Stop. But we have developed a system where now any Ghanaian living anywhere, provided you have internet. So as you sit here, you can apply for license any time of the day. So licenses can be applied online 24/7, Monday to Sunday. Any time of the day, we'll see it, we'll process it. So if his criticisms, against the Minerals Commission was that we're poorly equipped, we're not resourced, it is not the case. Vehicles provided, internet connected, applications 24/7, and so things are moved very fast. The small scale people can testify that the Minerals Commission they know 2-3 years ago, it's not the same Minerals Commission now. Things have improved. And I'm speaking to it. I'm the CEO, so I know what I'm talking about. Hang on. I'm seeing an improvement, and I'm not done yet. And within the last 2 years or so, we have hired about 30 inspectors. Okay, because part of the resource issue he was talking about was the fact that we didn't have the people, we didn't have the equipment, we didn't have the tools. All these things have been provided now. So, Tema, let me repeat. I'm getting 18 pickups this year, brand new. Okay.
18 pickups are good. But
yes. And I'm also telling you that now I'm able to do, because you see, delaying the licensing regime is what also accounts for Galamsey. If somebody puts in an application and it will take him 1 year, 6 months to get it, he will say, well, I need to go and work because they are delaying me. And I'm saying that the licensing regime has also improved. Now I have the men. I no longer have difficulty. In some institutions, they can't even hire people because there's no budget. Now I have enough staff, enough inspectors, metallurgists, and inspectors all over now. I have them now. They're giving us money. We've hired them.
So what's the challenge to fighting Galamsey now?
Galamsey, the cause of Galamsey is a very complex thing. Tema. So somebody gets up, okay? Somebody gets up and midnight when we are all supposed to be sleeping, he is in River Pra or Tano or Ankobra working. By 4 a.m., he's out there. Let's look at the situation carefully. These days, they hardly work during the day, except 1 or 2 people that are daring. But that one, they know they'll be caught. But many of the pollution, for the water bodies happens overnight, midnight, 12 a.m. Normally, they go around 11 p.m. That is the intelligence we have. By 4 a.m., 5 a.m., they are out.
So deploy
So it
time.
means that just listen carefully and let me make my point. So that's the time that they work. So it is not a job of a district or inspector or regional inspector to go to the water body 12 a.m. That is somebody else's job. Our job is to pick intelligence and say, these are the areas that they work, these are the areas they come on, and pass it on to the security. If you tell people that crime is quite common around the GBC neighborhood, you pass it on to the police, they do surveillance, and then they monitor. And then the soldiers are doing their work. That is one. And then the other aspect, too, is that when they get them, now they are prosecuting them. And then don't forget now that the Galamsey people are carrying arms. Okay? So going to the water body, admit that and all those, and the security people are handling it. They are dealing with that. My job is to ensure that the institution that regulates the mining sector becomes more effective and efficient. How do we become effective and efficient? Have the resources, have the vehicles, cut the delays, and then have all the men all over the place to do the work. And I'm saying government has done that for me. It will be stupid on my part or to come here and say that I am struggling with resources. I have been given that. And I challenge anybody to come to Minerals Commission and check whether I'm lying or not. Because if I'm telling you that government has given me 10 pickups and I'm going to take about 18 this year, and I don't have the pickups, I'm going to run an inefficient institution. I'm connected to the internet. So, as far as Professor Frimpong is concerned, that bit that he said that Minerals Commission is not well to do its work effectively and efficiently, it's no longer the case. The government, through the ministry, has resourced us now. Any request I make to my minister and my board, they approve it for us.
So we should expect.
So we have the men, we have the resources, inspectors are being trained. So we are okay. Galamsey midnight is a security, they'll deal with it. We also have a role to play.
But to whom much is given, much is expected.
Yes, and what is my job? To ensure that licenses, things move quickly, there are opportunities for Ghanaians, etc. But you don't expect my district officer midnight to go into the water body. He's not armed. So if the information is that people are armed and go to the Prime and Cobra midnight, it is for me to pass it on to the appropriate institution. You don't carry arms at GBC here. Even if you are under attack here, or people come and rob you here, you still need to tell the police. At best, you can install surveillance cameras here. But then if you are under constant threat, the police will bring in people and then position their vehicles and have an armed guard or something at vantage points to make sure that nobody comes to attack you, apart from the surveillance cameras and code that you have. But you don't expect me to take a district officer to Ankobra midnight who is not well armed. That is not his job. My job is to go around and make sure that they pick intelligence where maybe they are working illegally. Okay? That's why we work with the district mining committees that have never worked. So that is what I can say on that bit that he mentioned, Minerals Commission, that they said we are not well resourced. Now we are well resourced. I have the men, I have the tools, I have the equipment, I have vehicles. The kind of vehicles I have, if you have that in GBC, your life will not be the same.
Let's recharge the Minerals Commission to allow the public to see a corresponding improvement in the Galamsey situation, especially where it relates to River Pra. That's the one I have before me today. That because the tooling has been done and the retooling has been done, the efforts going into fighting the canker are yielding positive results. I know that this whole conversation can be about Galamsey, but let's get to the opportunity.
Hang on, and let me put the whole issue in perspective. We have said time and over again that Galamsey is a multifaceted area. There is an aspect that we also need to play, or that concerns the Minerals Commission. So, for example, you just heard the man talking about autism, and then they link it to mercury. So people are using mercury to work. Our job now is to ensure people do mining responsibly. How are they doing it? We are bringing more gold catchers, mercury-free machine. which uses water, they recover over 90%, not the 40% thing. So that is being supplied. We brought about 100, we have distributed a lot. And this year we have just gotten approval from the same government people are bashing to distribute 100 now. So we are going to be an extra 100 so that people can mine responsibly. Because you see, when you don't provide this equipment to them, the Chinese come in now. And then we are now doing geological investigation of some of the blockout areas so that we can identify designated areas that are mineralized and give it out to them. That is also ongoing. And then we are also launching more areas for community mining. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to pause my discussion, and I mean that I want to be serious about it. I'm going to pause my discussion on the opportunities in the mining sector I started last week. Maybe I'll wrap it up today. And for the next 1 month, come and tell the story of the Minerals Commission and what government is doing to ensure the small-scale miners mine responsibly.
We'll take you up on that offer, Mr.
Yes,
Ayisi, and
I'll
we'll follow
that.
up very, very swiftly. Mr. Martin Ayisi is the CEO of the Minerals Commission, responding to some of the allegations made by Professor Frimpong Boateng, where it relates to the Minerals Commission. You can catch this entire conversation on the platforms of the Minerals Commission on social media, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, and everywhere else. They're also streaming on Facebook. Follow the handles as well. We'll get to the substantive matter, and we don't have very long to wrap it up. Last week, we talked about skills and skill sets and the kind of training that people can undergo. We talked specifically about welding and fabrication, and we said that if you were able to get even a certificate in these from ATTC and the other technical institutes, you could get a job in the mining space. What more can you tell us about some of the opportunities when it comes to training, actual mining, and exploration for Ghanaians?
So just to do a quick, quick recap, I broke the thing down into 3 areas. The training bit, where people need to acquire certain skills, knowledge, and training to be able to work in the mines. And then if you also want to pick up licenses in terms of exploration and do the mining, there are some opportunities that we are here to talk about that. And then support services. For the training, what I said essentially was that there are 2 levels by which you can enter. The normal, ordinary way by which anybody can get a job in the mine is to have some basic technical skills. By far, what is popular is those who have done this mechanical stuff, electrical, and then welding and fabrication. That's what they need. Okay, so folks who have, our brothers, sisters and co, who have had some training at ATTC, Kokomeme, Takwadi Technical Institute, and obtained these certificates, particularly because you see, those institutions do all kinds of things, including fashion, automobile, and all those things. But these are the 3 key areas that they need. They can easily get a job. They need a lot of them. Like Cardinal, Newman, and Co. They'll take a lot of them. That is it. So that is one aspect. And then at the middle level too, they also need, these are university graduates. Okay? By far, the commonest, is the engineering bit. Mining engineering, mineral engineering, chemical engineering, electrical engineering, mechanical. Now, since 2020, the new law makes this thing mandatory. So, for instance, it is now mandatory for all the mining companies, all those who are doing the engineering programs and the geosciences, when they are on holidays, the so-called long vac, they go to the mines and go and work 2-3 months and go back. So first year, they do it, second year, third year, fourth year. So by the time you finish university, you are employable. In fact, I can boast that the mining sector is one of the few areas where graduates from the universities are employable. I left university in 1994. Many of my friends who read engineering then saw mine doing national service. That is, if they were even lucky to have entered a mine. But this year, or for some time now, even a first-year student, mining engineering, has seen a mine. They go there, work. When they finish, they do the national service there. So that takes him to roughly about 2 years experience. Then after that, they do, all the mining companies have what they call the graduate training program, normally for 2 years. So after service, let's say if Newmont had about 30, they take maybe 20 and then put them through the graduate training program. At the end of the day, they hire 5. The rest are hired by other companies. So Cardinal, Azuma, and Co that are coming up, the lithium people, they'll take them. And Minerals Commission also took some. Last year, I took about 10. And then we recruited them as assistant inspectors. And they are learning under the feet of the regional inspectors and co. So this is what has been happening. and I think it's good. Now, Newmont is about building a third mine to be ready in about 2 years. So all these people who are undergoing training or the graduate assistance training program, they will push them there. Cardinal will take some. Azuma will also take some. So that is what is happening in the mining sector. Now it is mandatory. What I intend to do now is to add the people who have done welding and fabrication, electrical and then mechanical at this technical institute to also go for training programs and attachment at the mines now. So you do 3 years at ATTC, for example, you go to the mine and spend 3-4 months there doing the long work. So by the time you finish it, they'll give him his basic certificate. It's very easy for Newmont, Goldfields and Co. to hire him. Again, one good thing about engineering is that it's very easy for you to switch from the other. So you can study civil engineering. You could be hired as a geotech person at one of the mining companies, and then after a while you go on to study mining engineering. Or you can study mechanical engineering first degree and go and do masters in mining engineering. It is very common. So it makes you very versatile, and they even tend to be better. Many of the mining companies also have labs to do their testing. So if you read chemistry, chemical engineering, they will take you. Metallurgy, you can work at the plant, or you can also work as a lab metallurgist. So there's a guy we took last year. He read chemistry at UCC, and then went and read metallurgical engineering, again 2 years as a top-up. Now we have hired him as inspector metallurgy. So all these things do happen. So you hear somebody say, oh, they've given him chemistry at the university, he's going to be a teacher. He can improve himself. So those who have read chemistry, if they are hearing me, you can easily go and do 2.5 years in metallurgical engineering. And then you can easily be hired at the mine, the lab, or the plant, or even come to Minas Commission if there's a vacancy, will hire you. And they tend to be better. So those who have read chemistry and then add metallurgical engineering, they tend to be better. Or if you read chemical engineering, somebody was asking whether we also take chemical engineering. I said, yes, you can read chemical engineering, you can work at the lab or at the processing plant. Chemical engineering, work for a while, and then go and add mining engineering. And they tend to be very good. So it's all about engineering, and these basic technicians and all those things. The sad aspect, and I think I'll be surprised if you yourself can deny it, is that what actually the area, the technical skills the mines require, that is what we as a nation have not respected. Okay? Hardly will you take your son or daughter to ATTC or Takoradi Technical Institute. So again, my success story is Wayo, and there are several thousands of the Wayos in the system. Wayo didn't go to secondary school. He went to Takoradi Technical Institute and studied welding and fabrication, and then started small. Today he has a very big factory in Takoradi. He's training a lot of people in welding and fabrication. My last check, almost every mine has given him a job. This plant and fabrication and all those things. So these guys he's training. So his job is doing at Newmont, Goldfields and Co. If he's going, he goes with them. So it's not just a classroom. They do practical training and they learn. So many of his people that are working in the mines now as part of the training, when he leaves, the mines keep them. And then he takes new people. So that is it. And recently I spoke to him, a cousin of mine who just finished GSS. I said, can you take him? He said, yes, bring him. He'll put him to 2-3 years training, and then you get a job at the mine. So then, this is far better. This is a route to go rather than training many sociologies, humanities, and all those things. I'm not saying we don't need that. But you see, if we train like the Koreans and then the so-called Asian tigers do it, if you train 40 technicians and engineers, there may be one sociologist or one historian. In our case, it's the other way around. So you see what the Minister for Education is doing in his constituency. He says, I want to train 100 engineers in 10 years. And a time will come, you find that you go to a mine, almost all the engineers there are from Busumchi, and then you start shouting ethnicity or tribalism. But he read land economy, but he understands what engineering means. So it's all about engineering. Any of the engineering is accepted, even though typically the biases are mining, mineral, metallurgy, geomatics, to some extent chemical, and then geological engineering. And then, as I said, you can easily switch from the other. And then your son may not be able to go to university or poly, but if he goes to ATCC and get a job at the mine, he can do a top-up. So I have two examples at Minerals Commission. A gentleman who started like this, the Wayo type, and then he got a job at Golden Star and was working at the mechanical workshop, and then built himself, has a lot of practical training. He did a top-up. Today he has a BSc in mechanical engineering from KNUSC. I think he did it for about 2 or so years because he had this basic certificate, etc. He went and worked, I think, in Pesos for about 8 years. And then even Temaloop as a mechanical whatever manager. Today he's working at Minerals Commission as an inspector mechanical. The same thing, a gentleman who for some reason was hired as a security guard. Apparently he had gone to do this electrical at this technical institute in Takoradi, the famous Takoradi Technical Institute. And then I was going through his annual report, and I realized that, oh, he's an electrician. And I said, we've not been fair to him. So we called him, we assessed him, and then the district inspector said, look, everything at the office that he repairs it. We called the vice chancellor, we called the Takoradi Technical Institute, and then Takoradi University. They've taken him on for just to do a top-up of 2.5 years. He'll come out with a degree in electrical engineering, come back, he'll work as an inspector, electrical. After 2-3 years, we take him out for masters, and he's perfect. You see it, no secondary school, technical school. Now he's in the university. So let our parents out there understand that the fact that he went to ATTC and he went to what we call it, Takoradi Technical Institute, it doesn't mean that he cannot get a job. So the gentleman who is an inspector mechanical, if he resigns from Minerals Commission today, any of the mining companies will give him a job.
What should we expect in the next chat, Mr.
The next chat, I'll put aside the opportunities and spend the next 2-3 segments discussing the kind of things the government, has done to deal with this issue of illegal mining.
And you've invited
yes, because you see, we spent a lot of time discussing local content, and people are excited. They didn't know that there are billions out there. So we also need to tell people that, look, yes, it may look like Milo or whatever you want to call it, or apple juice.
Yesterday, mango juice was trending.
Mango juice or apple juice. But government also has done a lot. Look, let me wrap up. Today, and I'm not boasting, if you go to Bongo Soin, these are illegal miners. Over 100 of them. We went there to make sure that they do it responsibly. They have 2 gold catchers now, so they stop using mercury. They have their license, they have all the permits, and they are doing it lawfully. I have just been sent the structures that people in YEs are putting up. They are also illegal miners. We send them gold catcher too. In a month or 2, we'll go and commission it for them. Another area, Bole, there are about 3,000 miners in the ground. There, underground. There's a place called Claf. They are also doing it illegally. We are also going to formalize them. So we also need to tell the people of this country that if you go to Bole, you go to Bongo and YEs, there are several thousands of illegal miners there. Now, government, through its attempt to formalize and improve the situation, is now assisting them with mercury-free machine to avoid autism, you heard a short while ago, for them to do it responsibly and stop using mercury. This information is not out there. So I'll spend the next 1 month to come and propagate that.
We'll have you back again to have that chat. Martin Kwekwe is the CEO of the Minerals Commission. Wrapping up our time with the Minerals Commission. Everything you've missed, available at GTV Ghana, our social media handles.